Hey everyone, welcome once again to another edition of Hot Shakes and Hand Dogs. It's Mr. Warren Hayes here. I got my co-host Sean Taggart with me. Sean, how you doing this week?
This is Hot Shakes, and then what's a hand dog?
Look,
I guess we'll figure it out.
You have to have a gimmick, something that people can relate to, and people relate to hand gestures, like in the history of, everything. Hand gestures are a way to, to bring people together. Like, in the 60s they did this, right?
And now people do this.
And it kind of feels like this sometimes. It's like, give me my own piece kind of thing. And there's all sorts of other gestures. We don't have to go through all of them.
We don't. We also like to stay up on YouTube.
Yes. That would be nice. That would be nice. Right here on youtube.com/MrWarrenHayes is where we do this. Independent pro wrestling is what we talk about on this little segment here that we do every Tuesday, Sean and I, because we love ourselves some indie wrestling. And there was good stuff.
We love it a lot.
We love it a lot, actually. And there was a lot of good stuff this week. And I actually went to see some live, Sean.
You went to see some live, Sean?
No. There was clearly a comma there.
There was a
look, this
pause.
is the international hand sign for comma. Is that what I have to start doing now?
Are you dialing up a rotary phone?
Like one of those that on the wall. My grandmother had one of those. She had one of these, and I had it just flashed into my brain. I had an older cousin. I was, maybe 7 or 8, but I had an older cousin who was like in his 20s, and I remember going like to my uncle's, and I went into his room, and he had one of these big rotary phones on the wall. It was a big red one, but it was like the proportions of it were huge, right? It's like you could literally put 2 fingers in one hole. That was the joke. Like it was, and the receiver was really big, and
was it one of the ones that you go like this?
No, it wasn't. No, it was really. It was conventional, but
not old.
Conventional. It was really big, is what I'm trying to say. So as I'm doing this, I'm like, I got a flashback of, me with my tiny 7-year-old finger just going at it on the thing.
I saw a rotary phone this weekend while I was at a wedding. They did a thing where it was hooked up to like a recording device where they would record messages, and then they're taking those messages and putting it on a vinyl record for the bride and groom to listen to.
That's really dope, actually.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
So
I used it way too much.
So you record messages? You just record them?
Yeah, it has like a recording device, and they take that recording device, I guess, to some place that can then transfer it to a vinyl record.
Holy shit. No, that rules, actually.
I thought so. Yeah.
That's a good gift. Like, that's something that you actually remember. Something that you actually want to keep.
That's like a audiobook version of your guest book.
Mm-hmm. But... like, you can frame vinyls these days.
Yeah, you can. People like to use it as art.
So it's like you put your wedding pictures on it, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean,
I need answers, Sean.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the one that this was for. It wasn't my wedding. That happened a long time ago.
What, the vinyl or your wedding, or both?
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, it was still pretty cool to see. But let's talk about your exciting time at a live wrestling show.
Oh, man, I went to C4 again this past weekend. They were running their Time and Tide show on April 22nd. And I remember, like, legitimately, I was DMing you as I was there. And I was like, holy shit, this match, you're going to want to see this, right? Because the cool thing is about C4 is that they don't stream live on independent wrestling, but you do always get the VODs. You do get the premieres. And I was getting
pretty quickly too.
Yeah. And I was getting Sean all pumped up for it. I was like, this is awesome, and this match is going to be great. And then Sean, I think it was today, DMs me very sadly.
Yeah.
The VOD is going to happen after the show.
I was really looking forward to the VOD.
It's at 10:35. Listen, as much as I enjoyed the show I went to in March for C4, this one topped it. And as much as I enjoyed, this one was really, really something. Main evented by Biff Busick, defeating Kevin Koo. We also had Janai Kai defeating Alexia Nicole and Ava Everett in a 3-way. Match of the goddamn night. And I honestly, look, there's one other match this weekend, and I think we'll talk about it, that probably topped it. Jonathan Gresham defeating Kevin Blackwood. We'll talk about it in a second. Myung Jae Lin defeated Elo O'Neill, Gabriel Fuerza, and Alex Silva. Scrapper James Stone defeated the hot stepper McCray Martin, some C4 stalwarts right there. Puff, Pretty Ricky Wilde, and Killian McMurphy defeated Zach Patterson, Carl Jepsen, and Hayden Backlund. Junior Benito defeated Anthony Green in a hell of a match. We also had Kobe Durst and Holden Albright defeating the tag team of Lufisto and Mathieu Saint-Jacques of the TBT, Tabarnak de Team. And Evil Uno started off the proceedings. Complete surprise, unannounced. Last time I got Stu. This time I get Uno. He defeated Cecil Nix. I enjoyed this tremendously. It was really a fun show. Like, from the get-go, you get Evil Uno right off the bat. Because ultimately, it's pretty much like the last time I was there. The first match of the night, Stu Grayson pops out as a surprise, right? Cecil Nix was supposed to fight Jody Threat, but she was in a bit of a car accident. Ooh. Nothing serious. She's fine. We were reassured. No, she's fine. She's just not going to be able to make it, kind of thing. So Evil Uno pops in out of nowhere to replace it, and it's how C4 they have the doors. Mm-hmm. Right, where they have sometimes they'll have the wrestlers painted on it, right? I was told it's a fan who does that.
That's a good fan right there.
One of the promoters, Mark, told me, he said it's a fan who actually does the artwork and then brings them, goes on location and does the door kind of thing, right? So he did the Jody Threat one. I say the fan. They did the Jody Threat one. So Evil Uno pulls it out. And he sort of stands in the middle of the ring, and starts posing, as if he's on a date or something, which was pretty fun. A fun little match, and with Cecil Nix, mocking Evil Uno and the Dark Order stuff and everything, that was great. Lufisto and Mathieu Saint-Jacques are officially splitting up as a tag team. Lufisto is going to be hitting the single circuit after this loss to Durst and Albright. They were a good team, though. But Saint-Jacques was actually trained by Lufisto. So,
really?
Yeah. Okay. So they had the chemistry there. That wasn't much of a problem. Listen. Junior Benito and Anthony Green was third match from the bottom, right? Mm-hmm. Blew the roof off the place. Just a fantastic match. And I discovered the greatness that is Junior Benito. Are you familiar with him at all?
Not very familiar with him. Tell me about him.
I don't know how much he's broken out into the US, but he's from Orleans, Ontario, which is actually kind of like an extension of Ottawa where C4 runs. Like, he's a local boy, right?
Sure.
Young, athletic, fast, high flying, and just like, one of these wrestlers who only has one speed kind of thing. Just dynamic. Working with Green gave him so much. Like, you could tell, Anthony Green, he took the pin to the kid because he's a hometown hero. Like, everyone was up on their feet, and Green gave him so much. It's like, look, man, this is your stage. And he took it all, like a pro, like a flawless match. So much fun. Like, this, low key. Starting off, I was like, okay, this is what is going to top this? This is actually really great, But then later on, we get to Jonathan Gresham versus Kevin Blackwood. Bro, this is, as it stands right now, this is the match of the year that y'all haven't watched yet. Like, it was phenomenal. And a workout, a cardio workout. Gresham didn't work, it wasn't grapple guy Gresham here.
Okay.
Of course he did some, right? I mean, it's Jonathan Gresham. He's gonna tie Blackwood up into knots and whatnot, but he was playing Blackwood was pacing the match here. It was about strikes, it was about quickness, but Gresham played along. So, if anything, just highlighted his versatility and what he can do, and they just struck at each other. My God, man. Maybe not as ridiculous as Hiromu and Suzuki from a couple of weeks ago in New Japan, but we're up there.
Right.
Gresham with chops, Blackwood with kicks. Literally the audience was chanting along. Slap! Kick! Slap! It was amazing. And they put on I'm pretty sure just shy of 20 minutes. It was probably just a little under 20 minutes. I don't know what the official time is, but look, this is one of these where you drop everything and you hone in on this one. And then they announced this week that they're doing it again at Bola.
Oh wait, yeah,
at PWG anyway.
Yeah, the PWG show. Not wasting any time for that rematch.
Holy shit!
PWG's next card, we'll see it 5 years later.
Yeah, pretty much, which is always a shame. But at least you'll have this one here. Honestly, they went so hard. Fantastic. And can't say enough good things about this match. Y'all have to watch it. And it's weird because then Gresham had a match on the Impact pay-per-view the next day, right?
No, it got pulled.
And then he got pulled.
Gresham got pulled, yeah.
And then everyone's like, "Oh, does he still have his concussion?" I'm like, "Well, maybe not." Honestly, I don't know. Maybe not. But the thing here is that he was, it could have been aggravated because they did really go hard, But then again, it might just have been travel issues.
Was it Saturday that he got announced as pulled? I thought it was Friday. They did it even before.
I saw it on Saturday that he was pulled. I don't know. Maybe the announcement came before.
I really didn't pay attention to when it was, but I just remember hearing about it. I thought it was a TK play, but it could have been he re-aggravated his concussion.
It could be, but it could be just as simple as travel issues because they've been something recently.
Travel has been hard for the independents right now.
It really has. So I wouldn't be surprised, if he was unable to make it, or maybe that the concussion, they just wanted to take it easy a little bit because that match, man, it ruled. And then Janai Kai, first time I get to see her live, man, I keep saying it every time, she's the real deal. Just as simple as that. She's so good at what she does. And then we got Biff Busick and Kevin Koo in the main event. Koo had been tweeting that this had been a match that he'd been waiting for, over a decade since both of these guys were wrestling in Boston and it never happened. Now finally coming around, so he was really excited for this. This is one of these Biff Busick matches where he doesn't have a long main event. This match was under 10 minutes. I'd say, 7 to 8 minutes. But, it just goes hard kind of thing.
It doesn't need to be, yeah.
But it's in and out. It's not one of these grueling affairs. Biff just comes in, he and Kevin Koo beat the shit out of each other, and Koo's fantastic. These are two guys that I love. Biff Busick is great. Kevin Koo, of course, one half of the C4 Tag Team Champions. Violence is Forever. The first non-Canadians to hold the C4
that's
Tag
a
Team
special feat to have there. The first ever little fun trivia fact too.
Violence is Forever are fantastic. They're the best tag team on the indies. Am I right?
Hands down. Yeah, I honestly say the best tag team in wrestling right now.
Oh hell, we're stretching it. Larry, let's go.
I honestly put a team against them. I don't think you can beat them.
Look, they're both great. You know, they're great as singles, and they connect so well as a tag. And Karini's fantastic as well. Don't get me wrong. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see Guarini back in action and everything like that, since he had the shoulder and neck problems last year that kind of like put his whole career on a standstill. So it's good to see him back, and it's good to see them really retaking tag team wrestling. It's amazing to me, and we could talk about this maybe later, how IWTV doesn't celebrate their tag, like individual companies will celebrate their tag teams, but IWTV as a whole just at this point hasn't just given uh Violence is Forever the IWTV tag team champions, because they keep on winning their award for top tag team of the year.
And they just keep winning everything. That's the thing. Like they are literal belt collectors at this point. It's fantastic. Look, I love the show. If you're watching live right now, if you're catching the live stream, once we're done, hang around IWTV.live and watch the C4 premiere. Just a fantastic show. What a great atmosphere too. Great people. Shout out to Mark, one of the promoters of C4. Just fantastic stuff. And just before we move forward, I want to say hello to Kristen Ashley, who's joining us. Hello. And as well as Dan Reed of Pro Wrestling Eve. Ooh, I got a little pressure here.
Cool. You better have liked the show, Warren.
I hope I liked the show. Holy shit.
Better
but
like it.
Before we talk about that one, Shawn.
Oh, I did watch some wrestling this weekend. And one of the shows I did watch, and I honestly, going into this weekend's GCW shows, there was only one match that I really cared about. It came from the Old Me, which was on Saturday, April 24th, and that is the Alec Shelley and Nick Wayne match. That's the match that I cared about this weekend. And you probably thought I was going to say something else.
No, it makes sense. I kind of thought you were going to go for the John Wayne Murdoch match.
Whatever. I'm more of a Cologne guy anyway, so.
True, fair enough. That's fair.
No, honestly, like, this is a rematch that happened from Without a Cause that they had last summer. And I mean, from last summer to now, Nick Wayne has grown tremendously as a performer.
Are we going on our Nick Wayne bit again? Is this where we're heading?
Yeah, I guess I should just put in like clips from previous episodes about Nick Wayne when we talk about him, because like it's a broken record for us, just like every Minoru Suzuki match on the Indies in the US. Anyway, which surprised. Just a quick segue, real quick. Very disappointed by the Too Cold Suzuki match, because I expected Scorpio and Suzuki to have a little bit more of a respected match, especially since, Too Cold is, a legend, a legend in independent wrestling, but also had some time in Japan for not only New Japan, but All Japan as well. It just felt very weird to me that Minoru Suzuki didn't give a shit and just phoned it in this match too. I'm not truly surprised. It did go over the 10-minute mark, which I was slightly surprised about. But it was the greatest hits of Minoru Suzuki on the US Indies for this match too. Going back to Shelley and Nick Wayne here is just so good, and he's getting better each time he's out there, and he's getting tested.
Yes. Yeah. Probably Alec Shelley went a little harder on him this time.
I think so. I mean, he worked the leg very, very well and hard in this match, Shelley, to the point where, there was points where Nick Wayne couldn't put pressure on. He was selling the leg pretty well. I really feel as if, though, this match could have went a little bit longer to tell a little bit more story with the leg that Nick had going on with him. But overall, I think these two, again, put on a really good match. Harpo's is a very interesting aesthetic for a indie show. Honestly, it's nice. It's a classic rock venue in Detroit, so it has a very cool aesthetic. But God damn, can they do something about mixing sound there? Because
how about mixing sound on any GCW show? If we're being honest with each other.
No, if we're being honest, yeah, the sound. I didn't watch the show in Columbus, but the sound in the Detroit show was god awful. There was points during the show where it was just silence, like nothing. So you were just, I thought I put my, like, sat on the remote and put it on mute. That kind of silence. But then I noticed the mute, like the speaker beating showing that it was off wasn't turning on. So I guess like they lost sound. But Emil also on, ring announcing, just like even the mics were very quiet when they had sound. Really? It's just one of those things. Like you would think you're putting all this effort into better video production, or just a better overall. I don't know. They have to do better, especially if they're trying to tout as the top independent promotion out there.
I agree. Like, when you look at the production value of a lot of other independents who, look beyond even Warrior, right? Warrior has very good production. You wonder why GCW, which is considered by many to be the number one indie in the country, number 3 promotion in the US, which is of course, debatable, of course. But,
yeah.
I'm just saying there's that discourse that's out there, and there are compelling arguments for that. Like GCW versus the Sound is, the greatest feud of all time as it stands right now.
And I mean, for the longest time, it was GCW versus production. So they upgraded video a little bit. It's just a shame because, like, honestly, if you look at it, they had Prazak on commentary, so you knew Kevin Gill was going to be kind of controlled in his, like, antics, and his, tangents would be less. So that was also very nice. But it just hurts when you can't hear half the show because the sound just stopped working. I guess really the match that was made and really talked about the entire weekend, the high incident match between SGC and the Briscoes, delivered up until the ending of the match. I don't understand why we need to see another SGC Briscoes match. I mean, Bussy's thrown in the middle of it for their Saturday show in Atlantic City as a triple threat for the tag titles. But, like, this could have ended it altogether, and both teams could have went on their merry way to, like, brighter and better things. Just disappointing. The action was there. Mm-hmm. They beat the living hell out of one another. Like, everyone. I don't think I remember last time I saw Mark Briscoe bleed. It's always Jay that bleeds heavy.
Yeah,
I don't remember a time. Yeah, both of them were gushing. And then Justice and Banser were too. But, like, the ending with both of them diving off the scaffold through the table on Mance and Jay. Okay, this felt like this could have been the ending.
A little, yeah. Yes, they could have put a pin in the feud. I agree. A little anticlimactic, like you said, though. Like the match itself was as brutal, full of stunts, essentially. Mm-hmm. They're power bombing each other into tables really early on, kind of thing, and that's for sure. Mark's dive off the high rise stage onto, what was it? It was Matthew Justice, right? It was on the table.
Yeah, it was Justice.
That was a nasty fall that Mark took there. Yeah, it. I think the match really could have benefited with a clearer finish. And I've seen a few people talk about it. It's like, well, what did you want them to do? Kill themselves? It's no. Of course, you're expecting someone to jump off the top of the scaffolding. Otherwise, why are you doing this match?
Right.
I get it.
But I don't think both of them needed to at the same time type thing. It was one of those things where going into it, everyone was hyped. I mean, this is, when you think of ECW, you think of this match here between New Jack and Vic Grimes and, certain other scaffold match. I think Dreamer was in a scaffold match as well. But, like...
So was Jim Cornette.
All right, well, that's the show. But yeah, it could have been better. And I feel like a lot of people were expecting a little bit more out of that match, myself included. Um, Janella and Bandito was
Yeah, I saw
a
that match
decent
too.
little match here. I feel Joey is on a mission to prove a lot of people wrong.
Yep.
That people were wrong about him. He looks a hell of a lot better than he did throughout his entire career, even during his time in AEW. Like he looks like he's going to the gym regularly. He's like really taking everything a little bit more
Maybe
seriously.
cutting back on the booze a little bit. We don't know, but he is in tremendous shape right now.
He is in tremendous shape and has a great hand too, to boot.
There you go. I'm sure he's not getting it in Jersey these days, though.
No, I'm sure he's not either. I highly doubt it.
I highly doubt it as well. I like the match.
I like the match too.
I'm a fan of Joey Janela matches. Here's something like I tweeted this out earlier this week. Okay, here's the sequence of events. I get to the C4 venue and they're handing out flyers. They're announcing their next show on May 13th. And Joey Janela's on there. Awesome. Is on the flyer. So he's coming to C4 in May. So I'm like, oh, cool. So I take a picture, tweet it out. And, it's like, looks like Joey's coming back to Canada, right? Instantaneously, I get 2 replies. It's not a big deal. It didn't have a lot of traction. So, it's fine. But, in the small amount of engagement that I got on that tweet, I got 2 of them negative about Joey Janela, right?
Right.
So, I watch the wrestling and go home and I'm thinking, I go, back to my Airbnb and then I'm like, I really wonder if, and I did tweet this out as well. I really wonder if everyone who hates Joey Janela, I wonder if they ever have actually watched a match of his.
I don't think so. And I feel like a lot of people go off of his Twitter personality, which isn't a best judge of character.
It's a work. He's working.
Yeah. He's in character. So,
And these are people, people are like, I wish kayfabe was still here. I wish wrestlers still had their wrestling personalities. And then when wrestlers do it, they get mad.
You're being mean. You're being mean to me.
He's a heel. This is his thing now.
He's doing his job. Like, honestly, at the end of the day, he's doing his job. And people need to understand that, he's doing what he's supposed to do. And obviously, if you're being so up in arms about it and upset about it, it's working. But, Janelle here, I feel like he's putting himself in opportunities to showcase himself. This match against Bandito, this Saturday upcoming against Speedball. Previous night he has Andrew Everett, Sunday against Masha. So he has a big weekend with pretty heavy, opponents here. Mm-hmm. And really, he's going to be able to, prove himself and, showcase just why a lot of people, sleep on Joey. A lot of people don't understand Joey. And it's a shame because he honestly is low-key having the best year of his career, to take a tweet that I saw about Minoru Suzuki.
Which we talked about last week.
Yeah.
But he really is. I honestly don't get it. And especially, there's a whole bunch of stuff I don't get, when it comes to wrestling fans. Sometimes, they want stuff. They want stuff, they have it right in front of them, and they're like, no. But then again, when they start calling them, Nutella and all that shit.
It's all Cornet.
Yeah, they only watch the GIFs.
Yeah, they only watch the GIFs. They don't watch a full match. They listen to Cornet weekly. They're likely a bot that Elon Musk is going to try to take away from Twitter. So.
Oh, well, let's get rid of the Cornet bots. I'm pro that.
Let's do it. I'm pro bot removal. All those WWE bots that come after AEW fans.
Yeah, all of them. Yes.
And vice versa.
Which are clearly ruining the online experience.
God damn it, I hate the internet.
Is there anything else on the old me that struck your fancy? Because I didn't watch the whole card. I watched the scaffold match and I watched the Janella Bandito match.
So I wasn't really into the tag match. it just didn't seem to hit a second gear. I honestly I liked this scramble match. I think it was a really good, exhibition of styles and showed the vast styles. The thumbnail for this episode is from that match with Yoya jumping off the speakers, which I thought was an awesome visual.
It really was.
But yeah, honestly, for me, this show is skip around and watch a few matches. Shelly and Nick Wayne is a definite. I like Dickinson and ACH. You can watch those two matches back to back. Jump to Janella and Bandito, and then watch. I like the Cologne and Jimmy Lloyd death match. A lot of the people in the deathmatch community consider Jimmy Lloyd the sacrificial lamb of GCW, which I can see it. Put him in a spot to get his ass kicked, and he'll do it with pride. And pretty much this was an example of that.
Sure.
Unfortunately, AJ Gray had some travel issues with his rim flying off his tire, so
He just lost her. Oh, like the whole rim, not just like
the
the,
whole
the
rim. Yeah,
decorative thing.
yeah,
Oh shit.
yeah, the
Okay.
whole rim. So he couldn't make it there, and while they were trying to figure out other ways, as we know with airlines nowadays, there is no cheap option, unfortunately. So it was like going to be like 1,000 to get him to Columbus from where he is,
No Jordan
apparently.
Oliver on the show.
No, he was in the scramble.
Oh,
My
he was
whole
in. His...
thing, I don't understand. Like, I feel it's very weird to see who's in some of these scrambles just because it means that they don't have anything for them. Like Deppin was in the scramble, Oliver was in the
But
scramble.
Deppen won, right?
Deppin won after um,
But because that's the thing,
Jordan.
like Deppen's on. He like that. That's what GCW is giving him. Brett is booking him strong these days. He's winning his
Yeah.
matches as opposed to.
So Deppin stole it from Jordan Oliver after Jordan hit the clout cutter on Steve Scott. He threw him. Deppin threw Jordan out of the ring and covered Steve Scott for the 3 count.
All right.
And it looks like something's going to be leading up there, but like I said, it's a skip around show. A few matches here and there that
Sure.
stand out. Warren, you took some time to watch some Pro Wrestling Eve.
I did. Since we're still on the Saturday, I watched a Pro Wrestling Eve's Global Women's Strike 3. Dan's in the chat and he's talking about travel issues. Yeah, he got Max the Impaler was supposed to be on the show
Oh
to
man.
fight Session Moth Martina, which was a match I was extremely excited to see, but unfortunately could not make it. So yes, wrestling traveling these days is plaguing promotions top to bottom. I think you know what we should. I think wrestlers promotions should invest in teleportation technology. I think some high quality.
Let's work it out. Let's actually be the ones to invent the technology and then charge the big bucks to promoters. Dan,
Exactly.
Dan, drop us a DM.
There you go. We'll do it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
No, this was a good card. There was we had Rio, not Riho, different wrestler, defeating Ivy, a Pro Wrestling Eve stalwart, in a good opener. Session Moth Martina defeated the Ava, who is one of the top heels of the promotion as well. Very, 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 very into herself. Audience hates her. Just fantastic. She stepped up to the plate in a surprisingly good match. Not that I'm like, oh, because they suck. No, it's just like on something that was thrown together, a little a little on the side there. This worked out fantastically. I barely recognized Martina.
Yeah.
She looks amazing. Well, she always has, but she's dropped so much weight. And I was like, I sincerely double taked. I was like, is that really her? Is that really? Because I really haven't seen her since since her Ring of Honor stuff.
Yeah, she had that quick stop at AEW last month, but
Yeah,
like
but
I
I
couldn't
don't,
get it.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
you
always
don't watch.
catch Dark. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
that's fair. But yeah, no, even when I saw her on that, she looked totally different. I was like, who is that?
Are you
And then
sure? Did you book, or is this like a Sting Stang situation here where you have, Session Moth Bartina, that comes and says
That's
that might,
actually a really good.
I might actually start doing. I might actually dye my hair blonde and do this. So as we were coming on before the show, I was telling Shawn and I, we were talking. I was saying, the cool thing what Pro Wrestling Eve does is that they give the first half of the show for free on YouTube. Like, so you get easily like a full hour and 30 minutes of stuff, 130 minutes, and then the rest is behind the paywall. And on the which you can subscribe to, you can become a member of the channel, so on and so forth, and you have access to all of it. So when we get to when this comes to a close, we've got Emerson Jane fighting Sky Smithson, which again I can't remember who this again was thrown together because of travel problems. I can't remember who was in and out. I apologize, but this match was thrown together like on a whim, like it's like day of, okay, ladies, and it ruled. Like, it legitimately ruled. But you have two top wrestlers here, like Emerson Jane, formerly known as Sammy Jane, right? She changed her working name a couple of years ago, and versus Sky Smithson. This ruled, dude. Like, power moves out of the get-go, just strength and throwing each other around. Like at some point, there's a springboard. Emerson Jane goes for a springboard. Whatever, we don't know what it is because Sky Smithson catches her and dumps her onto the turnbuckles. But her head, man, just bounces straight off the turnbuckle. Sky Smithson does a sack of shit, which is, unless it's the new fall away slam term. Now that we've found out that Scott Hall used to call it the sack of shit, I'm calling it the sack of shit moving forward. A release German by Emerson Jane, a Samoan driver as well, Fisherman's Buster. Look, man, Norihara moonsault by Smithson. Just strong, physical, well paced, well executed. Like, honestly, you look at this match and you're like, I'm buying the rest of this premium live event. I don't know what Dan calls them yet, but it was really, really good. Like, just solid stuff. Then behind the paywall, you get Shoko Nakajima, Princess of Princess champion, versus Alex Windsor, who, in my opinion, is the best wrestler no one is talking about. She's so incredibly good at pro wrestling, it boggles my mind that she's not like over, in interviews right and left and people fawning over her and trying to get her overseas. I don't understand. I mean, maybe she signed a very exclusive contract with Pro Wrestling Eve, perhaps. But you know what? This was really good and had a nice progression in the match. I thought it was a lot of fun. Because basically, it was Nakajima's speed, and she has that strength element to her. But Alex Windsor is a strength-based wrestler. Like, she's a power wrestler. She tosses people around. So it really was that contrast there. There's Nakajima goes for a tiger feint kick, and Alex Windsor catches the legs and just swoops her into a spinning blue thunder bomb, which was just like chef's kiss. She also hits Windsor, does an enormous uranagi on Nakajima, but she knows this. She knows Nakajima wrestles in Japan, so she can go a little harder maybe than Jesus. And a release power bomb and a top rope senton by Nakajima for the win. Prime stuff. Fantastic match. Then we got Charlie Morgan versus Emmy Sakura, which was also very good. I love Charlie Morgan. Emmy is one part wrestling, one part theatrics, right? I completely understand why some people are put off by Emmy Sakura matches. I really do. But once you just sit around and chill out and you're like, it's whatever. Fun. She gets the audience involved. It was a lot of fun. And then we got Jetta versus Casey for the Eve Championship, which was also very, very good. That progressed into crazy, well, I wouldn't say crazy amounts of violence, but good, solid violence. At some point, Casey does a high knee strike on Jetta, bust her nose. Probably broken because she was bleeding the whole way. And you know what? I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you this, Shawn. Blood adds to a match.
It does. It really does, because it just shows the violence and the intensity of the match. And honestly, more blood. Just give me more blood.
And I know there's been a lot of discourse per usual, right? I didn't see anyone in that audience running away at the sight of blood, at the sight of a nosebleed, for fuck's sake. Didn't see anyone, throw their hat, toss a beer, and walk out the door at the sight of it. And these were women. Warren. And these were women.
Cruise, Warren.
They probably weren't casuals. That's right.
No, they weren't. They were the hardcores that demand that shit.
I mean, it looked accidental. I'm convinced it's accidental because the Casey knee lift was spot on and very strong, But no, I thought this was I thought it was a lot of fun. Fun card, very, very fun show. I would say that this is Eve's best show since coming out of lockdown. Just fantastic stuff. You know what? An easy watch overall. If you want to splurge for the membership, go right ahead. I think it's worth it for this show. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. I honestly, come Sky Smithson and Emerson Jane, just blew my mind. How good it was. Just fantastic stuff. Just good, powerful throwing people around, tossing people on their heads pro wrestling. I love it. Loved it.
I love people, tossing each other around. I love people flying around too. And I think this is a perfect time. I watched the whole show, this Warrior Wrestling 21, but really, there's only one match here that I think is worth talking about, and it's finally happened. Will Ospreay and Blake Christian finally faced off.
Jesus Christ, man.
I mean, I think the pre-match video of showing everyone wanting Will was a funny thing to see, just like how many people have called out Will. And, you haven't seen certain matches yet, but I'm sure we will. But my God, do these two just gel with one another?
Wasn't it fantastic?
Wasn't it just,
fantastic?
It was just sit back, enjoy, watch. I know you said that Blackwood and Gresham was your early pick for match of the weekend. Then I'm sure you saw this one and it changed your entire mind.
I mean, we're close. We're very close.
Yeah.
Look, don't get me wrong. I thought this match was absolutely phenomenal. Ospreay and Christian together, it was magic. It was, but you know what? Like it's the kind of thing you expect, right? And Ospreay just smooth as silk, going through, the Christian's chain offense. When Blake Christian gets into this groove where he's chaining offense, he's rolling into shit and he's just keeping you in locks and throwing you down, and Ospreay's just moving all through it, and it's just like, just beautiful. Honestly, there are two different types of matches, because I'm telling you, it's the Gresham Blackwood match was not a grapple match. It wasn't a mat match. This was completely something else. What an incredible match. I don't know, man. Maybe it edged it out. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Because, of course, I'm on location. I'm there watching. It's different when you're in a crowd and you got the energy and you got people jumping out of their seats.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, if you were at this show, you would feel a little bit differently about this match too, just
Probably.
because, you were there, obviously. It's it is different when you're live at a show seeing match compared to listening it or watching it on a stream, just because not a lot of people can make a crowd right. So like a lot of people you would hear them say, "Oh, the crowd was quiet." And you're
Yeah.
like, "No, I was there, it wasn't." That kind of thing, like, but with this match, everything gelled. It just felt like one fluid motion after another between the two. Um, Honestly, the end sequence to um, the Hidden Blade Stormbreaker attempt fail, again to another Hidden Blade, and then the Stormbreaker finale. God damn, like just really good back and forth. And I bit too many times at the back half of the match where I honestly thought that Blake was going to win this match.
Right. And
Like,
isn't that fantastic? I thought he was going to do it too. I really did.
yeah, and I mean, Rich Bocchini and God, I forget who the other commentator was, but they both did a very good job at making you feel like Blake really had a good opportunity. And that's another big thing too. Commentary, especially with independent commentators, they make or break how you view a show and how you see a show. Val Capone was the other commentator.
Val
She did
Capone.
great with Rich, and I mean, honestly, like they helped elevate this match. Um, it was just very two good wrestlers showcasing just how good they are. I mean, obviously, one of the things I took back at the end of this was Will saying that that Blake to get to his level has to kill his all heart character to level up, so to speak. Um, so like he did with the aerial, like Will did with the aerial assassin, Blake has to do with all heart to for Will to even consider him as a serious contender next time around. But there was respect at the end here. I felt, that there could be more to this. I don't feel like like they won't play it right away, but I feel like we could see something maybe down the line in like 6 months or so.
Sure. And I'll pay to see it again.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. No,
I,
I look, I'm running it back in my mind. You sort of blindsided me here, having to pick between my two favorite children of the weekend. But I do think this match was the match of the weekend. There was just, it was just too spectacular. Look, it's a match of the year kind of thing. It's a match of the year kind of situation. If anyone puts this on their list at the end of the year,
I
not
wouldn't be
even mad.
surprised, honestly. Yeah, no. It's well worth it, inclusion of their match of the year list. Well, obviously, Warren, I haven't seen obviously the C4 match, but would you consider the Blackwood Gresham a match of the year candidate?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
That's why I'm like, what are they going to do at PWG? I don't understand.
I
I don't
mean,
understand what they're going to do at
I don't
PWG then.
understand. I don't understand either, but we won't see it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Super Dragon will see it.
With it, no, have his back turned the entire time. But rounding out the weekend, Beyond actually went back to Fet Music Hall and they put on the show Inertia, as we all thought it was, but it's actually Inertia.
What a
Um,
weird. What a weird name for like.
yeah.
There's weird names for wrestling
Well,
shows, right?
there was the graphic for the show name was weird.
Yes, because it really did like look like inertia.
Yeah. Watching the old show Inertia here. Uh, I will say I went into this show kind of disappointed on paper by the card.
Mm-hmm.
Not being the strongest Beyond card that we've seen recently. I think the lack of fans for the weaker card, prove that point. Um,
Yeah,
but I think,
very sparse. I
yeah,
noticed that. Usually at Beyond they're huddled around the ring, and
mhm.
now it was very sparse.
Yeah. So there's that. I mean, one of the matches that really I had no clue what this was the Demolition Derby match, which was the four-way six-man or the four-way three-man eat team match. That was just a crazy old comeback from intermission. Let's hype up the crowd again style match. This really hit at all cylinders. Um, Miracle Ones are just a fun team. All these teams in this match were fun to watch and just really interesting to see how they mesh and gel. Like you have Brick and Mortar who are staples on the Wrestling Open show. Same thing with the Miracle Ones. Um, but it was just really good to see all these teams pull out and get like a more of a eye on them, just because like I said, the Wrestling Open show. Um, I don't know how many people watch it on Thursday nights. I mean, it seemed like everyone was watching it last Thursday night when Anthony Green got screamed by that fan because they were excited to see. And yeah, I had to bring that up because what a weird tweet from the Beyond account.
Look,
what like
I look. I'm sorry. I won't go deep into pronouns. I apologize. The fan, they sort of rushed when Anthony Green's music hit. Like, this is what happened, right? They rush in front of the audience and they start screaming, okay? And they're on their knees waiting for Anthony Green to come out from behind the curtain. But that like imaginary walkway that exists, and beyond, they're not overstepping their boundaries. They're not like standing in front of they're on their knees and they're screaming. They're excited. Anthony Green comes out and they're like this, and they're screaming. And
yeah.
And it's cringe, okay? Don't get me wrong. You look at it and you're like, oh, it's a little too much, brother, kind of thing.
Sure.
That's fine. And it's not something that I would have done, but look, no one was hurt. No one was touched. Nothing was obstructed. It was fine. I don't know why the Beyond account sort of retweeted that saying, oh, you have to be respectful. What were they doing that was wrong? Like, yeah. I really think Drew overreacted on that one.
Honestly, I think when it comes down to, like, if, like, there's, like you said, no guardrails, they have people around the ring slapping the ring at all times, really. Like, what do you expect if there's nothing there? Like you said, the person that was cheering was in a respectable distance. They were in front of the entryway. They weren't, all over, like, people. They were in their respected area of the venue of the White Eagle in Worcester. Like, I don't understand why there was this big deal. Anthony Green didn't understand why Drew was making this a big deal, because he agreed, like, this is an exciting thing to have happen. Like, I want you to cheer for me like this, like, type thing.
Because that's what the rest of look. Honestly, the worst part of that fan's reaction was just how obnoxious it was. That's all. But,
sure.
But otherwise, it's fine. It's an over enthusiastic fan reaction. I honestly have no issues with it. It was just a very weird thing to point out. It was just very weird. Because trust me, listen, and to me, look, story for story, I'm at C4 this week. I think they had like, I don't know, like a pub crawl or something, like people, like non-wrestling fans who were there. Okay.
Sure.
And there's two dudes and a girl. And during the women's triple threat match, this one guy was being extremely obnoxious, talking about the women, and when they, let's say, get down to do a move, and unfortunately their butt is in the air towards us, then he'd start looking around and going, They do a couple of moves. He starts being very, 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 very distasteful in his remarks towards the women. And there's one guy, just a couple of seats away, who goes, "Hey man, shut the fuck up," kind of thing. And he starts. They start having an exchange. And there's another guy, a girl in front of them, says, "Look, just shut up. You guys are being awful," And they just shut up. They continued drinking their beers, and that was it. Like, that to me is something that you condone, right? Everything was under control, I didn't bring it up to anyone because, the fans did the work. Fantastic stuff. Like, the C4 fans were like, "Look, dude, we're watching women's wrestling. Shut the fuck up. If you want to go watch porn, go watch porn."
Right.
That's not what you're getting here. That's cool. As opposed to a fan, just going, "Woo!" seeing probably their favorite wrestler,
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just a weird tweet to see, and then just, a weird double down about the original tweet. But that doesn't stop me from watching this Beyond show, and I did. And honestly, I think it over delivered. Based on what we saw on the card, I think it over delivered. I really like I said, the Demolition Derby match was a lot of fun. Uh, Dango and Busick, for what the match was and everything about that match, I thought it was a lot of fun. I really enjoy seeing Biff back on the Indies, and if this is really, you know, Dango's swan song and he's, disappearing into the sunset, let him have fun and go out in any style that he wants to. It seems like he's having a little bit of fun right now. Hopefully that, sticks and he changes his mind, but it is what it is. And I was surprised, and I think we talked about this a little bit before the show started with Teddy Goods and Crowbar.
That match really over-delivered. That match absolutely over-delivered.
I didn't expect Crowbar to put out a really, it's hard to say, like, people are getting up in age and stuff like that, what you'd expect with them when they come into a very strong work rate style promotion like Beyond is. Let's not sugarcoat it. They are. He performed very well, and it was a fun little match. Had the shenanigans with his manager Percival, and little mean Kathleen was there to play spoiler in some of Percival's attacks, but it was a lot of fun. And Crowbar still has he still has his fan base. He still has it.
He's still the dude's doing top rope hurricanranas, right? He great pop-up power bombs in the match as well. Just doing some great stuff. Like I was not expecting to be so entertained here. Teddy Goods is great. We know this. Mm-hmm. They're figuring it out on SmackDown apparently. But look, I have nothing bad to say, but this match clearly over delivered for me.
And I think my match of the night for this Beyond show obviously was Willow Nightingale versus Alec Price. I think a really good match here. Honestly, this showcased the growth in both performers from over the past few months. Really good, fun match here. I really thought that both of them brought out a different style of one another that I don't think each other knew they had, really, just because I feel with Willow, she's not really like the brawling, aggressive type, excuse me. But, she was a little aggressive in this match, and Price, was Alec Price.
Just a little dick.
Yeah.
But it was very good at pro wrestling and super, super enjoyable. Look, I think another one of our running themes here is how good Willow Nightingale has become too, right? And like I love it when I see things that I'm not expecting from a wrestler that I'm familiar with, right? Willow power moves, strength moves. That's what she does, right? But then she does at some point. She does a side Russian leg sweep, right? She takes Price down, but then she locks the legs. She twists him up, and grabs the arm into an arm bar, like all in the one same movement. I'm like, look at her with some chain wrestling, with some grappling going on. I'm like, holy shit, that was pretty dope,
What was not dope was Becca coming out and yelling at Alex Price for being a fan favorite now. She was a little angry about that. He has some explaining to do.
Well, that's it. That's the problem with a guy like Alec Price, right? He's so good at what he does, from top to bottom. You just love to hate him. It's tough, man.
Yeah, at the same time, he's the regional face because he has the Southern Underground Pro Bone Sword title that he won from Jada Newman. So, as as AC Mac has Iris, he has the press possession from the South, Alex Price, and Northeast will take whatever it can get. And really honest, that was the shows this weekend. This one, I would say, watch the whole thing. I think you're going to see a lot of different styles in this. The main event is brutal.
Lufisto and Tracy Williams was a lot of fun too.
Yeah, that was. I really enjoyed Tracy's heel work in this match, especially absolutely. Him trying to make Lufisto quit.
Yeah, quit wrestling. It's like you're embarrassing yourself. Hang up your boots.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. And if anything, she's on par with She's on par with her glory days. If you ask me, she's still very good.
She is still very good. So, like I said, I would watch this whole show. Personally, up and down from the weekend, this was my favorite show of the weekend. Warren, I'm guessing you're inclined to say C4. Just yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a little different when you're actually at the show and you get to feel the crowd energy, but
for sure.
Yeah,
but I'm excited. Honestly, I'm excited for you to watch to watch the show and to give me your feelings on it, because I'm feeling I'm overhyping it because I was there. But it really was a fantastic show. There's just too much good wrestling on it. So this weekend there's more good wrestling. Am I right, Shawn?
There's a lot of good wrestling. AEW on Friday night on Fight has Never Say Die, headlined by Matt Fitchett and Eric Young for the AEW title. But really, a feud that's been going on for a while is finally coming to a head in a cage match. One Call Manders will take on Silas Young.
Ouch.
Gnarls Garvin and Josh Alexander should be a good, strong hoss fight between the two of them. For current Impact champion Josh Alexander, that is. And Fred Yehi will take on Mike Bennett. Freelance Underground. Well, go ahead.
Just really quickly, you know who's having a low-key great year? Josh Alexander.
Yeah, he has another one.
He has not had a bad match so far this year. And even that one main event at the Terminus show that sort of ended, the match was great.
Yeah, match was beat up to the ending. Yeah, definitely. We go then to Saturday. There is a couple of shows on Saturday. We'll start with the Freelance Underground Shaken Not Stirred show on IWTV. The Brothers of Construction with your boy Frank the Clown takes on Violence is Forever for the Freelance Underground tag show.
God, I hope Kevin Koo eats his face. God, I'm so done with Frank the Clown.
Not a big fan, huh? You don't like clowns, or you don't like Frank the Clown?
No, I know. It depends on the clown.
Okay.
Sure. There will be clowns I will appreciate as both. But Frank is he's bottom barrel tier. Like, get off my TV, Frank. God, I hate Frank.
Another match to look out for as this feud continues is Project Monix and Chico Suave takes on Matt Nix and the partner of Matt's choosing. So that should be interesting. GCW is at it again. Yes, they don't stop. They keep going. Buy a ticket, enjoy the ride. They are in Atlantic City at the Showboat this weekend for Survival, Road to Survival weekend. This one, In Too Deep, will be the Saturday night show. A couple matches to take a look at here. We do have some Tournament of Survival qualifier matches. Akira and Hoodfoot and Sawyer Wreck versus Slade, I think, could go either way. Both of these are coin flip matches. With Hoodfoot and Akira being the one that is on the edge right now, we don't know which side the coin's going. John Wayne Murdoch will face Cole Radrick, who's having a renaissance in deathmatch wrestling right now in Radrick. And then, honestly, Dickinson and Biff, oh baby.
Dickinson and Biff. And we've got Joey and Mike Bailey.
Oliver and Masha.
And Masha Slamovich is going to chew Jordan Oliver alive. But here's the thing. Just before we Jordan Oliver, man, again today, over on Twitter, right? Tearing down a very poorly researched and dumb article from the Sportster regarding how deathmatch wrestling hurts the wrestling business. Like, I have never seen, if this had been signed by the PTC in 1997, I wouldn't have been surprised. It's like, it requires no talent. That's one of the points that was in there. It's like, hit the bricks. What is this? Jordan Oliver called it out, and I'm like, and he's called it out straight up as clickbait. So again, I can't, my Jordan Oliver bit is done. It was done last week, but I think now it's buried now. Done and buried.
Do you have anyone in mind that you want to replace Jordan Oliver with?
Well, Frank the Clown's an easy target, right? Frank the Clown is just too fucking easy. I'll think of someone.
All right. Well, we'll revisit that next week.
There you go.
And then finally on Sunday, May 1st, we have WWR Plus as Hit 'em Up Style, also on IWTV. A couple matches here that I'm excited for is Willow Nightingale versus Jordan Blade.
Yes.
Little Mean Kathleen versus Ashley D'Amboise. Tina San Antonio versus Trish Adora. And Artsy Fartsy, the team of Edith Surreal and Erica Lee versus the Hardcore Geeks.
Don't sleep on that one. Kennedy Copeland and Riley Shepard. Shout out Riley, we love you. Don't sleep. And this is fantastic. It's going to be a good card. And immediately after, they're taping the first few shows for Maria Kanellis' Women's Wrestling Army shows. So they're doing
Buy one ticket, get into both.
And one ticket gets you into both.
That's right. That's going to be on that streaming platform, Pro Wrestling, whatever network or whatever it's called now.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But yeah, some good names lined up for that show. Make sure you guys check that out for more exciting and good women's wrestling here.
Absolutely. WWR Plus always delivers, is always there. Just like Shawn and Warren on Tuesday evenings. Always there to talk about independent wrestling. And we're going to bring this one to a close. But before, Shawn, what the hell is going on with you?
So yesterday, Monday, I released the Enter the Dragon episode of Pure, which looks at Bryan Danielson's 2002 to May 2005 Ring of Honor career. I jump right in next week to him winning the title at Glory by Honor 4 before talking about his 2006. Warren, what do you got going on?
Oh, you know, the huge, the MrWarrenHayes show on Thursday evenings where I record live right here on youtube.com/MrWarrenHayes. Come and join us. There's stuff happening all around. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be talking about. I'm hoping that we're getting that they start announcing before Thursday some participants for the Best of Super Juniors this year in New Japan, which we have absolutely 100% reason to be excited for this time around.
Yeah, this is, I would say, this is the most excited I've been for Super Juniors in quite some time. So
yeah, because
a lot of doors are open up.
The doors are open where people can start flooding back and forth. I've got some theories. If anything, I'm going to theorize who's going to be on it. So that'll be a lot of fun. Might talk about some WWE returns. There were a couple of those this week. It was nice that they did the Raw after WrestleMania 3 weeks after WrestleMania, Shawn.
Well, yeah, because they have to do it before WrestleMania Backlash now. Because that's the biggest show of the year.
It's the biggest show of... Is that this weekend?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. I really don't know. Because if it is this weekend, I'm going to preview it.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know when it is. But we'll figure it out. And we do the Dynamite, AEW Dynamite recap per usual. So come on over. It's a good time. Subscribe right here so you never miss a thing. Either myself or Shawn and myself. Right here. So subscribe and do the bell thing and all that stuff. Thank you very
much.
Thumbs up it. The what?
The thumbs up.
The thumbs up too, a like. That's always cool. And if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast application, thank you very much. And show us some love there as well. Because there's a lot of love to give. Right?
You can never have enough.
You can never have enough. Thank you everyone for joining us again this week. Hot shakes and hand dogs. See you next time. Bye-bye.